Good morning guys and welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. So do stay tuned for this episode guys. Halfway through the video we're going to be revealing some pretty important news. Let me know what you think about it. Right guys, my first job of the day. I've got a clutch and flywheel here off a Jaguar 4.2. Now there's a story behind this and it's something to do with the thumbnail and title, but what I've got to do here is the old flywheel he's not using, which is a big cast iron lump. This is an aluminium flywheel, quite a lot lighter, but it is meant to be for a Jaguar supposedly, but I don't know whether any of you can tell me. This is the existing clutch cover from the Jaguar, but the holes and dowel holes that are drilled in it are for a smaller diameter. So what I've got to do is drill and tap for the bolt holes for the clutch. I have centered this, and then I've got to do the dowel holes. So that is my first job of the day, and once that is done we can then balance it onto the new crankshaft. There's a little John Deere head here that John is refacing. Now the story is with this guys, as I say, it's a 4.2 Jag. We did all the machining on it beginning of this year, I think. The guys put it all together. It literally did no miles at all, just down the road, and it's done a big end. So that is the old crank. Whether there was an oil feed issue or something like that, I don't know. I'm assuming that he's took all the bungs out and cleaned the crankshaft out, but anyway, it's done the crank. So he's got a replacement crank, and we have got to, I think John's checked that. I don't know whether he's ground it, but we've got to balance that once I've done this clutch and flywheel. So yeah, very unfortunate for the guy. Quite a big job obviously to take this engine out and strip it completely again. What you see in the background guys, Isaac's little Subaru. Now this is very exciting. If you would have watched our second channel video yesterday guys, you'd see exactly what is happening with this now. Isaac has bought the car, or in the process of buying the car. Obviously he's blasted the crankcases. He blasted them on Saturday morning in the sort of know that the guy was going to get this done, but in fact he isn't. So we have done a deal to buy the car. Obviously we are going to be supporting Isaac with this. Obviously no labour and machining is going to be charged to him. We're going to do help him out on the parts, do the parts at cost as well. And yeah, he's managed to get the car at an absolute steal really, considering it wouldn't be a steal if he had to get the engine done by someone, but obviously because we're doing it, it's going to be a great learning process for him. And yeah, I think he's really looking forward to this, being a massive Subaru fan. Now this Legacy, I don't know whether it's an age thing, but I actually prefer the Legacy. It's an estate, it's cool as hell, it's a really clean and tidy car. So yeah, absolutely buzzing for Isaac. We sent the turbo off to be checked by Vince at Turbo Performance. He's going to be having a look at that today, and we should just probably get that basically overhauled. The bits we have ordered, and they're all trick bits. So we've got H-section rods, we've got a decent crankshaft, competition bearings, Marla forged pistons. So yeah, we'll do it the best we can guys. Obviously go through the head. Now this being an EJ20X, it's got I think it's got the fancy vernier pulleys on the head, so they're quite advanced, these heads, solid lifters. So yeah, it's going to be a really good engine, and I can't wait to stick some videos on the second channel of it. Fair play Isaac. Right, so underneath there guys is the normally aspirated Cosworth. If you follow my Facebook page, you'd have seen a couple of pictures of that last night. I shall show you that in a bit. Absolutely wonderful. But this little lot on the desk here is a dummy build job, so I've got to make sure all the clearances are correct, etc. I've sized and balanced the rods and blasted those. They're all pucker. We've got the bearings laid out here, the mains caps which are all blasted, all ready to go. This is the one that we've had to put the liners in, and also the 2 extra long studs, because it's had the 6 long studs already, but I've just done them slightly deeper on the opposite side to the oil gallery. All the pistons and that balanced out, ready to go. So what is Isaac doing now? He is balancing the crank, which is over there in the balancer. I think he's done that. He's just blasted and faced the flywheel. We've got another flywheel and clutch to go on a Cosworth with the crank still in the engine. So Because we're balancing that crank for this one, he can dummy balance that flywheel and clutch onto that crank and let the customer have it. And then we have got the helix clutch here for this engine, and the flywheel there, which is looking a bit grotty, but obviously he's going to blast that, face it, new dowels. And once he has balanced that crank assembly, guys, we can give it a quick polish. I'm just going to hone out the bores, which are over here. Last job on this, get it up on the hone, just get it finished honed. There's about 2 thou to come out of those bores, and then I can do me dummy builds. So all I've got to do is check the clearances on the mains and the big ends, make sure they're fine for the customer, and I shall probably leave it assembled so he knows what's what, and let him have it back. But yeah, that'll be another job done hopefully today. Right, everyone, now I've seen in previous videos down in the comments, people keep going on about what is happening with this move of the unit, etc. Haven't heard anything of it for blooming months. Now, the actual move of the unit, the guy that is in the unit that we were thinking about going in, he's got so much work because he does car restorations. He's got so much work there. I think what his intentions were to sort of catch up with the work he's got, get some of the cars out the door, basically get himself smaller so he can do the servicing, etc., and then come in here and us doing a deal with his unit. But you know what it's like with car restoration, it goes on and on. So at the minute, guys, it's all a little bit quiet. In the meantime, from talking to him with that, our circumstances have changed slightly. So I was getting, you all know about my sort of health and what have you, and I was suffering with anxiety, and it was all getting a little bit on top of me. And I sort of come to the conclusion that with the YouTube, the work was rushing in the door, which is absolutely fantastic. And initially, it's sort of overwhelming. And obviously, we had Paul in here quite a lot. Isaac then was an early apprentice. So, and what I found is all of a sudden I got twice the staff. I know it's only 4 of us, but I've got twice the staff. I'm having although they were doing the work and we were getting the work to fill their jobs, I'm the one that's having to deal with it at the end of the day. And it was all getting a bit much for me. So now Isaac is a bit further on and very, very capable. He's come on absolute leaps and bounds. He can do most stuff in here, to be honest with you. So Isaac he's not just an apprentice now, he's a proper employee, and he can do the job. So that is one of the reasons we haven't had Paul so much. Another reason we haven't had Paul is because Paul, obviously, it was in the early days of him taking over his dad's business, and you know, Mikey it's all part of the same business, Bob Dove Motorsport, and both of them now are up to their eyeballs in it. So it's having time for Paul to come over here. So it works well, really, for us. So that basically what I'm saying is we've tried to sort of go down a little bit, take on the engines we know we can do, don't just have them stacking up here. I know there is a lot of sorting out to do in this workshop. Now that Evo has gone, we can get that box gone, we're going to do something with all this M3 stuff. This is all mine, which obviously sooner or later is going to be on the car. We get all that sorted upstairs, out the way. So all this area we are going to utilise. Now, what are our plans? Now, a couple of days ago, I had a friend of mine in. He's a chippy, and what our intentions are, please feel free to comment on this, guys, and tell me what you think. But sort of from here, where this toolbox is, along here, we were going to section it off. So what we were going to do is build a sort of a stud wall there and there, leaving about a 2.5 metre gap so we can get to the ramp if needs be, with maybe a sliding door on the back of it. Stud off all these walls. We were going to try and get all the cleaning gear. Obviously the blue machine is going to be going very, very soon. We're going to be scrapping that. So if anyone wants to come and get it, out yourself. We're going to be scrapping it. We're going to get all the cleaning gear, which is this stuff here, and obviously the new cleaner. We're going to try and get in that area there. Okay, so all the cleaning, all the machining is done in this area. We'll have these benches over there too. So if we need to do any sort of stripping or put the cylinder heads on it, we can do, but we can do all the dirty work in there. It could be washed, stripped, cleaned, whatever. We're going to keep the head section, but probably tidy up the walls and put some white plastic sheeting on there so it's all nice and sort of clinical-ish. I'm in and ahhing what to do with the floor, whether we go for that hard rubber sort of matting on this area here. We're not going to bother there because there's no point. But this section here, as I say, the racking will go up there, and all this wall here will be free, and this area here, and also this. We were thinking of this corner here, maybe put the toolbox and have some sort of shelving. He'll be making some timber shelving with some nice worktops, and have this as like a sort of clean area with the laptop on, with the auto data, the measuring gear, all that sort of stuff. A nice little clean work area there. And then all this, we're going to have like a timber, we'll have a shelf at the top, timber worktop, with some nice, you know, worktop on there. And yeah, we can have it looking all nice and clinical. We will use the 8x4 white sort of plastic boarding, which will go up to probably about there, and board all this off, and then have maybe some nice hex lighting or something above, and really utilize this area, guys, because we can have engines then stacked up all along there. We could probably have 6 or 7 engines, and I mean, how many do you want? We don't want any more than that on the go. So yeah, that is the idea at the moment, guys. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. We should probably have, where we've got the board in here, we'll probably have a big sort of TV on the wall there, maybe with our YouTube playing constantly, or we can connect it to the laptop and the camera and sort of use it as a monitor. I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. It's just an idea at the moment. My friend has sort of done his measuring up, worked out all the materials that we'll need, etc. So we sort of know the cost of that. He can get this all done at the beginning of January. So what we should probably do is just shut shop for a week. He said it's probably going to take him a week. We can do a lot. We can be in here doing a lot of organising on the sort of machine shop area, while he's doing this. Get all the flooring down and just move in. Job done, guys. Let me know what you think, but I'm pretty excited about that. So there we go, guys. Yesterday I've been a busy boy, and that is the normally aspirated Cosworth for Paul and Pete. So you can see I'm missing a few bits. I'm just waiting for a delivery from Burton, which I think has just arrived now. We've got some cam pulley bolts, new ones, obviously tension and nut. What else we got? Oh, oil pumps come in as well. That's why I haven't got the sump on. Got a nice big wing sump down there. But the throttle bodies are on, the head's on. We've done all our major sort of machining, measuring and making sure the compression ratio is right, the valve to piston clearance is correct. You can see this absolutely stunning Simpson race exhaust, guys. That is looking beautiful. And as I say, this is going to be going into a bubble arch Mark 1 Escort. So absolutely lovely. Looks very period with the Cosworth rocker cover, which is absolutely gorgeous, and that's going to look lovely under the hood of a Mark 1. The Quaife pulleys, which I think look very period, a little more subtle, and these are the steel type as opposed to the aluminium, so very hard wearing. But yeah, really happy with that. Hope the customer's happy with it. Yesterday, guys, I was so busy, I didn't really get to do any sort of any more video footage on it, but I've done the main bit, really showed you how to got all the piston machined correctly. We'd gone through the head anyway. That was all ported to normally aspirated sort of rally spec, so it was just literally Meccano. So got all that done yesterday. The Gen V throttle bodies are on, and it's looking absolutely lovely. Isaac has just balanced the fancy CG Motorsport clutch cover that we've got for the
for Cosy, innit? The
NA
Cosworth
one. Yeah, the one that the crank's in the motor. So we're just putting that on this other crank. How far out was it, mate? About the flywheel first.
Well, the flywheel was like, well, it was up to about 80 or 90 on here, so that was pretty.
Oh, okay.
Pretty.
Oh yeah, pretty dire.
Pretty bad. And the clutch was up to about 50. So
was it?
That was a little bit
so
surprised.
Not
and I tried it multiple ways, you know, on the dowels differently.
Yeah, and it seems to run true on the end of the crank there.
Yeah.
But that's typical, that is, of a you know, a fancy clutch. Usually, rule of thumb is the better the clutch, the more out of balance it is. But
does seem to be that way.
Does seem to be that way.
And obviously, because this is alley, you end up having to take more out than if it was like steel, because obviously it's lighter.
That's right, yeah.
You know, I've got these big holes there, which normally you'd think, bloody hell, that's bloody loads.
Yeah, but it's a nice looking clutch though.
Oh, it's lovely looking, yeah.
It's all in balance now. So the next thing is to balance the flywheel and clutch that is for this crank.
Yeah.
And then I can crack on and do my dummy build on that bottom end, and that can go then.
Yeah.
Ideal, mate. Lovely jubbly. So there we go, guys. This is the Jaguar flywheel and clutch cover. So I've re-drilled and tapped 3/8 UNF, these threads are that we're using here. And there is a dowel there we've had to put in, and one opposing as well. So that is now all ready for the assembly to be balanced from Isaac. But that's all we've got time for today, I'm afraid, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Please put down in the comments what you think about our idea for this half of the workshop, and we will see you in another video. Take care, guys.